Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. Tonight is episode 77, and I have the incredible Troy Haughton joining us. He's a singer, songwriter, and pianist based in Milwaukee. His soulful and passionate vocals are influenced by Brian McKnight as well as Michael Jackson. And most recently, Troy was featured on Juan Wednesdays, a virtual talent show created by Wanye Morris from Boys to Men. Troy is in the house. Troy, whenever you're ready, come on in and we'll get this interview started. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us Saturday night. Hi, Troy.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How's your evening going?
It's going well. It's going well. And you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for asking. So I was just introducing you to the room, and I start off each show with a song lyric. So because you were right on time, I wanted to bring you on in, share this song lyric with you, and get your take on it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Cool. Let's do it. So this is from Michael Jackson's Beat It. I know you're heavily inspired by MJ. Just beat it. No one wants to be defeated.
Yeah,
Showing how funky and strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Just beat it.
that's right.
Yeah. Do
Beat
you
it.
remember when that video came out?
I did, man. Like, whew, I'm not gonna date myself, but I was a youngster. But MJ, man, that video, it was revolutionary because I remember he had the like black. I think it was like black like leather pants or black like satin pants,
Yeah.
and he was walking on the street, and every time he would step, the street would light up.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember the Motown 25,
Yep.
when the first time he did the moonwalk, man, that took everybody by storm. And I knew once he did that, he was here to stay.
Like,
He's the greatest entertainer, in my opinion, greatest entertainer alive.
I
Uh,
completely agree.
you know,
So,
well, he's passed now, but he's still, to me, he's still the greatest entertainer.
oh, he's amazing. I just remember just all of Michael Jackson's videos and how incredible they were. Like that's when videos were huge, right? And it was like
Yeah.
you heard the song and then you saw the video and you're like, oh, that's interesting, right?
Right, right. I mean, back in the day, because I was like 80s,
Yeah.
the videos were not like today's videos. They didn't have as a big budget like they have now.
Yeah.
So some of the graphics and some of the pyrotechnics, I believe, and
Yeah.
all the color, the wardrobe,
Yeah.
all the things to make the video. They didn't have all that glam and fame that they do now, so they had to make do with what they had, and they still put on phenomenal videos.
Yeah. Such a revolutionary
Yeah.
artist. I'm actually thinking of like the Thriller video because that was just something. I mean, when you
Oh man.
I was
Oh man.
terrified of it, but then when I saw the dance scene and just like I was so mesmerized.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it took that was the very first short film. So
Mhm.
you know what, that really kind of took the nation by storm, because now you see all these artists doing like short films and
Yeah.
short movies, in their videos. So I think Thriller was the very first short movie, and I think it's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest short film
Mhm.
for a video.
Yeah. So cool. I love it. Oh, it just brings me back to when Michael was here and things were
Man,
great with music.
Man, Michael is that dude, man. Michael, there'll never be another Michael Jackson as long as, and the thing is, people don't realize how great of a vocalist Michael was.
Right.
People just really, when you think of Michael Jackson, you think of an entertainer, the whole package. But as a vocalist, Michael was extremely gifted. He did all of his own background harmonies. He layered his voices, and he had an ear for music. So I mean, like, he was an incredible vocalist.
Yeah. There will never be anyone that can even come close.
Never. Nope.
Yeah. So let's start from your childhood, Troy. I know you
Okay.
started singing at 9 years old. Who inspired you to get into music?
Well, um, growing up, there was always music playing in my home. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I come from a family of, um, music lovers. So,
Yeah.
my mom, she liked Temptation. She liked, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, all the greats.
Yeah.
Um, Pops loved the OJs,
Yeah.
which is this old singing group. You
Yeah.
know, he also loved Bobby Brown.
Hmm.
New Edition. There was a lot going on, musically in my home. My sister, who's actually on my live right now, what's up, sis? Um, I remember every morning getting ready for school, and she would be in the room playing SWV.
Yeah.
She loved SWV.
Yes, SWB.
Yeah, and it's funny, So it was a broad range, a broad genre of different music that inspired me growing up. Um, Hip hop also was a major influence growing up, because I believe as a musician, whether you're a vocalist, whether you're a piano player, guitarist, rapper, all types of music should inspire you, no matter what the genre is. So hip hop played a major influence on my creativity as well. Um, on any given time, there was, you know, Tupac,
Yeah.
Biggie,
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls, rest in peace, both to them.
Yeah.
LL Cool J. Um, I like the Wu-Tang Clan, Method
Yeah.
Man, Red Man. So I mean, I believe music is universal. It's the universal language. So, no matter what the genre, it can inspire you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one of the groups you mentioned was the Temptations. Now, before we hopped on this live, you actually have a story about the Temptations, and I want to get into it, and I want to learn a little bit more about this story. So take it away, Troy.
Yeah. So growing up, I'm from Iowa. So there was um, a Temptations concert in Tama, Iowa, and I believe also it was Sly and the Family Stone,
Very cool.
which is kind of an old school band, R&B. So I drove down to Tama to see the Temptations, and I didn't really have any expectations set at the time,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna just go, because I'm a music lover. I love all types of music. So me and a buddy of mine drove down to Tama, Iowa. It was Milwaukee Casino, I believe. They were playing at a casino. So, it was an outside concert. So I'm going, outside, and I see some trailers, and I'm like, and most, I put two and two together that a lot of artists, they have trailers, and they're in the trailer getting ready before their performance. So
Right.
um, I kind of like snuck backstage, in their trailer, and I ran into Otis Williams, who was the only original member of the Temptations left. And I ran into him, and I sang for him, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh man, wow, you're really good." And he was like, "Hey, we have a section in the show where we let people come up and sing, and we let people do their thing." He's like, Would you like to be a part of it?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, I will be." You know what I mean? So he brought me up on stage, and I ended up singing "My Girl" with him, with the
Oh my
Temptations,
gosh.
and it was an awesome feeling because to hear the harmonies behind me, I'm like, they're actually really gifted. I mean, the Temptations, before Boys to Men, there was the
Yeah.
Temptations, and old school, R&B groups like that. So that was that was an awesome experience to
Yeah.
to be in the presence of greatness and the iconic Temptations.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Because first off, you snuck backstage, but then how did you go from sneaking backstage to like talking to him to then to singing for him?
Yeah, I mean, I snuck backstage and I saw him, and I was like, hey, I love the Temptation. I love you guys. You're one of my favorite groups. I have quite a few groups, but I'm like, you're up there, with the top of the top. And,
Yeah.
you know, from Boys to Men to, 112,
Hmm.
to Jodeci to, all these other groups now, the Temptations actually paved the way for these other groups. So they're actually the blueprint of a vocal R&B group. And they stood the test of time. So I mean, like they went through members, obviously, because Otis is the only original member.
Hmm.
But their name still reigns supreme. When you look at old school and Motown, the Motown sound.
Definitely.
So yeah, I started talking with them like, hey, I love you guys, and then I actually sang for him. And he was like, oh man, that's awesome. He's
Oh
like, yeah,
my,
would like to be a part of it. I'm like,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was a great feeling.
What a phenomenal story. Like, who has an opportunity like that? That's incredible, Troy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate and blessed, by, a higher power, by God, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to experience some of the musical journey I've experienced so far. I've been
Yeah.
very fortunate and very blessed to be in the presence of greatness.
Yes. Amazing. Talk to us about the music that you create.
Um, well, I got my foundation in church.
Hmm.
That's probably like the standard of R&B singers or singers generally. But I got my start in church, Baptist church.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you know, but Baptist singers can sing,
Of
and
course they can.
it's like being at the Apollo.
Yeah.
Because they'll let you know if you ain't sounding good. So,
They will
but
book stage. They will
but
throw things at you. Yes.
right. So I got my foundation in gospel. So I kind of gravitated towards gospel, learning gospel chords, learning how to sing. Um, so I kind of incorporate that in some of my songs and some of the music that I create, but
Mhm.
also just good R&B songs, harmonies. Boys to Men, obviously, Brian McKnight,
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
is an icon, Michael Jackson, like I said. So I kind of try to incorporate all of those artists
Yeah.
and musicians into kind of the songs I create. Um, and I first come up with the melody, then
Hmm.
I come up with the chorus. Um, that's how I go through my songwriting process.
Uh-huh.
Each artist is different. Obviously, each musician is different. There's no wrong or right way to do it. But
Right.
for me, I come up with a melody, and then I hum that melody, and then I come up with lyrics for that melody.
Yeah.
And then I create the chorus. And the chorus is the main thing of the song. If you don't remember anything else, if you don't remember the verses, always remember the chorus.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back and kind of build off of that chorus, and that's where I kind of create the verses. So.
Hmm. Now, do you write your lyrics down or do you record them in a voice memo? Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I typically write my lyrics down. I'm more of an old school person. I'm visual.
Yeah.
I just think when you put pen to paper, it holds a better meaning.
Yeah.
So, like a letter, I'll write my lyrics down, and that way, if I want to X something out or change something, I have the hard copy.
Right.
Um, then I'll sometimes I type it up too,
Hmm.
so I save it, so I have a digital copy.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's normally my process. I write it down.
Hmm. So you've covered songs by Luther Vandross, Boyz II Men, SWV, countless others. What's one of your favorite songs to perform and why?
There's so many.
Yeah.
Um, I love Brian McKnight, and the thing is, it's funny because my natural tone is like Brian McKnight's. My natural tone is soft and pure and melodic like Brian. So it's not that I'm trying to emulate him or copy him.
Hmm.
Although he's played a major influence on my musical style.
Right.
It's just that I naturally gravitated towards that sound because that's how I started singing.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite songs probably to sing, to perform. Um, it's a toss up. I like Crazy Love by Brian McKnight.
Hmm.
I like Back at One. I like it's called 6812.
Hmm.
Um, One Last Cry. There's a lot of Brian McKnight songs that I perform. Boys to Men too, obviously.
Yeah.
I do some Luther. Um, I do Usher.
Hmm.
So I mean, sorry, I can't pick one.
That's okay. Well, the thing is, you're influenced by so many incredible musicians that it's so hard to pick just one because you think of like Luther and Stevie and Brian and Michael, and you're like,
Right.
just everything by everybody.
Right, yeah. So I mean, it's just it's really hard to pick one. So
Yeah.
and it could change on any given day. You know, someone may say, okay, to pick this one. I'm like, I'm gonna do this song today. So
So I know you're inspired by Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Brian McKnight. You named countless other musicians. What about these musicians inspire you?
just their craft, you know, and the attention to detail
Right.
um, that they put into making music and their creativity.
Hmm.
But not just that, they're very technical. They're very technical artists, especially Brian McKnight. Um, quick story. I well, you'll probably ask me that later, but I got my start kind of singing a cappella jazz,
Yeah.
and in college. So that's where I kind of got my ear for music because when you're singing a cappella, you have to be on pitch and your
Definitely.
tone has. You have to use dynamics. You have to do crescendos, decrescendos. You have to use staggered breathing. You have to breathe from your diaphragm. So there's all these technical skills that you learn and that you have to incorporate in your singing when you're singing a cappella jazz.
Hmm.
So, quick story. I was at a performance seminar with my a cappella jazz group, and we met this other group, and they were professionally known across the nation. A group called Impact, and
Hmm.
you spell it with the letter M dash PACT, Impact. So, and these guys are huge in the jazz, a cappella jazz world. They're right up there with the Take Sixes. So we were talking to them. I was talking to them backstage, and one of the singers in that group went to school with Brian McKnight.
Oh,
He went to
cool.
school, yeah, he went to school with Brian McKnight. Now, he said Brian McKnight's ear was incredible. He said that Brian McKnight would actually be in the middle of class, like writing down. He would draw a piano in his notebook, a full size piano, and he would actually be doing this, you know, fingering the piano. And he asked him, he was like, "Why are you doing that? What are you doing?" He was like, "Well, I can hear the chords in my head." And
Oh,
I'm like, dude, like that's he has perfect pitch. So I'm like, wow, you actually can just sit there and play a fake piano and hear the chord progressions and everything in your head.
what?
I'm like, wow, that's amazing, especially at that age because they were in high school at the time.
Wow.
And also another quick story that he told me was that he auditioned for a play, a musical play that they had in their arts and science department in the high school,
Hmm.
and he said that he auditioned for it, and you know he was a part of the choir at the time. He was, but Brian McKnight wasn't a part of the choir. He was just a regular student that
Hmm.
attended that high school. So he said one day the teacher heard Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight walked past the classroom just singing, like belting out, like you know a random song, and they like just paused the whole class. They put the whole class on pause. Like, whoa, who was that? Needless to say, he said he lost his solo to Brian McKnight because because you know, and I'm like, well, you know, hey, if you were to lose it to someone, you know, why not let it be him? So
Yeah, if it's anyone, I'd prefer Brian McKnight. That's
yeah,
awesome. And
yeah,
that's so cool how he drew the piano and then he could hear the chord progression.
yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
So
absolutely incredible.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. What other musicians inspire you?
Stevie Wonder.
Hmm.
He's just phenomenal
Yeah.
in every meaning of the word. Phenom. He's a musical prodigy. You know, kid prodigy, and they say when you lack one skill, you make up for it in another area,
Yeah.
and they call it, I guess, like it's heightened senses. So you know, obviously he was born blind. He was born with mental health issues, I guess, and you know he made up for it with his hearing, his touch, his sound, because his ears were his way of seeing. His ears were his way of seeing. So I mean, he was just a phenom, and actually to be able to read music in braille. You know what I mean? To as you know, because you're blind, you have to read in braille, and to be able to do that. Also, Stevie plays about like, man, 5, 6 different instruments. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that. They just know Stevie for a pianist, and a musician and a composer and stuff like that. But pretty much on all of his records, he played the drums. He played the what's up, J Rod? I see you on here, Roy. What's going on? Yeah, he played the drums. He played the guitar. He played the bass. He played the keys. He played the synthesizers.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he plays so many instruments, man. And he inspired other artists like Prince.
Right.
Prince plays a multitude of instruments as well. So I mean, like to Stevie is just awesome, man. There's no words that could really describe his gift to the music industry, his contribution to the music industry,
Of course.
his creativity to the music industry, and just his blessing to the music industry. He's one person that he's right up there in my opinion, and people can debate this and argue. He's right up there in my opinion with Michael Jackson. I mean, you can go toe to toe with the Stevie Wonder albums and the Stevie Wonder songs as you can with Michael Jackson.
I completely agree. I think when you look at both of, you look at Michael's albums, you look at Stevie Wonder's albums, oh my gosh, just front to back, just wow.
Songs in the key of life. Matter of fact, hold on for a quick second. Okay. I'll be right back.
I feel like Troy's the album. Do you have the album? Yes. Wow.
This is all of Stevie Wonder's sheet music.
Wow. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So this is like the blueprint.
Yeah.
This is the blueprint of modern R&B sounds. You know what I mean? People emulate Stevie Wonder. Hold on, let me get myself back situated right. Give me 1 second here. I got wires everywhere because
no worries. I have the same situation. That's just how it rolls when you do an IG live. Like so much situation going on down near my feet, but hey.
Right, you know what I mean? So I got to get my monitor straight. I got to be able to hear.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, even Brian McKnight gets his influence from Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
So if you notice a lot of the riffs, a lot of the runs, pretty much a lot of everything, Brian McKnight gets his style. Incorporates a lot of his style from Stevie Wonder and Wanye Morris, and he'll be the first to tell you Wanye gets a lot of his style from Stevie as well.
Who would you most like to collaborate with?
Oh man, there's so many. Probably Brian McKnight. I would say Brian, Wanye, obviously, Wanye's a beast. Wanye he's an icon. In my opinion, to me, kind of, I don't know. To me, Wanye and Brian are kind of like neck and neck, though, man. Man, there's a song actually. I want you to look it up.
Okay.
It's a song that Brian McKnight recorded. It's called "For the Rest of My Life." Boys to Men recorded the same song. It's called "For the Rest of My Life." I don't know, maybe you can even play it or Google it real quick or something. It's called "For the Rest of My Life," performed by Brian McKnight, and Boys to Men did the same version of it. Oops, sorry. It's hard to it's hard because they both sound so good.
Yeah.
On that particular song, though, I would say Brian McKnight, his studio quality was probably a little bit crisper, because it was an unreleased song that Boys to Men did. Boys to Men didn't release that, and I don't think they had it mixed down either. It was kind of like a demo version.
Yeah.
But vocals were on 1,000% for both of them.
Love it. After this interview, I'm checking out both versions. I definitely.
Yes, it's called For the Rest of My Life. And Boyz II Men did a version, and Brian McKnight did the same version.
Yes, love it. So you've had the opportunity to tour internationally. What are your favorite cities to perform in and why?
Belgium.
Hmm.
Belgium is good. Paris is good too.
Hmm.
Um, Amsterdam can get a little wild.
I heard Amsterdam,
Amsterdam is
like
cool.
anything goes.
It can get a little wild.
Yeah.
But I would have to say Paris and Belgium because they really love American music and they love Americans, and they sometimes I think we don't appreciate what we have
Right.
here
Hmm.
until it's gone. You know what I mean? But I think they have such a high regards for the music industry and for musicianship over there.
Yeah.
There's a artist that he was hot for a little bit in the States, but a lot of people don't know. I think it's Craig David.
Craig David, yeah.
Craig David.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hot, man, for a while over, in the States, but he's really big overseas. And, like I said, people have an affinity for, good music and R&B music. And that's why you see a lot of artists today, they're touring overseas. They're touring Europe, they're touring, Asia, they're touring all these different countries and continents because they really have an appreciation for our music and our craft. Not to say that the States don't, but I'm just saying, like, when you fizzle out or you start not being on top like
Yeah.
used to be, you can always count on your fans in different countries to provide you that love that you need.
Hmm.
So
I think that's awesome, and it's crazy. Yeah, Craig David. I remember he was everywhere in the 2000s, like everywhere, and like he still puts out music, but people in the States are not on it. Like nobody really is paying attention to him over here.
exactly, same with another guy. People probably he probably fell underneath the radar too, but in my opinion, he's the closest sounding guy, the closest guy to Stevie Wonder. That he actually did a tribute on a compilation album that Stevie Wonder, produced.
Hmm.
Glenn Lewis.
Oh, I remember that name from like.
Glenn, Glenn Lewis is a monster. Whew,
Yeah.
man. And actually, most people may recognize him. His commercial success happened in the movie with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey. What's the name of the movie? I think it was called The Bridesmaid or something.
Oh, something. I know the movie you're talking about. It's like
Maid of Honor.
or
But
something.
there was a scene where Glenn Lewis was performing this song called "Fall Again,"
Hmm.
and man, he's a phenomenal singer, and he's underrated.
Yeah.
But he's also big overseas as well.
Did he come out with that song? Don't you forget it?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, yes, I know
Right.
that name because I remember hearing that on the radio.
Don't you forget, don't you forget your way home for that little girl. Hold on to you. Don't you forget your way home for that little girl. Hold on to you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, Troy. Troy, after this interview, I'm going and like I'm gonna listen to Glenn Lewis again because I haven't heard that song in years.
Yeah, that song
Great
is
song though.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome. In February, you were part of Juan Wednesdays, a virtual talent show created by the one and only Wanye Morris from Boys to Men.
yeah.
What did that opportunity mean for you?
Man, it was an awesome opportunity. Wanye's, man, he's a vocal beast,
Yeah.
a vocal force to be reckoned with. His credentials speak for themselves. His reputation, his accolades speak for himself. In my opinion, Wanye is underrated too, for
Yeah.
real. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, no shade against any other artists, no shade against Chris Brown, Trey Songz. I love those artists. No shade against Usher. I love him too. He's a beast. No shade against all the new people out. No shade against R. Kelly, no shade against any of these other artists, but when you think of, Wanye Morris, of course you think of Boyz II Men, first of all.
Yeah.
Because and no shade against Sean and Nate, because they're vocal monsters in their own right. But when you think of Boyz II Men, the first name that comes to mind is Wanye Morris. You know what I'm saying? He's the voice, the biggest voice of Boyz II Men. It was an amazing opportunity. I actually, the crazy and the funny thing about it is I met Wanye and I met Boyz II Men rather. Nate, Sean. This was before, or this was after Mike left the group.
Oh.
But yeah. So the funny thing about it, what's up, Cooley? Hey, girl, how you doing? Shout out to Cooley, man. She's a big supporter of mine. She's always, commenting on my posts. She's always, showing love. Shout out to Cooley. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Cooley. Thank you.
Yeah. Follow Cooley too. So who else is on here? Make sure you follow Cooley for real. Mm-hmm. She is cool. No pun intended. No pun intended. She's cool. But yeah, I actually have met Wanye and Boyz II Men actually. This was some odd years ago at a Springfield, Illinois state fair.
Oh wow!
I met them backstage, right? And the funny thing about it was I actually sang for Wanye, and I sang for Nate. Mm-hmm. Nate, I was actually standing in between Nate and who else? Nate and Wanye. Yeah, and Sean was on the other side of me. So I started humming, some of the songs and stuff, and I started singing. I was like, can I sing for you? And I wasn't trying to. I have a issue sometimes with trying to sing for people and stuff, because like I know they just got done performing. I know a lot of artists and celebrities are probably like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like taking pictures with people.
Right.
Here comes somebody else trying to sing to me, trying to sing for me. So I try to be cautious and careful on how I just Cooley comedy on how I approach different people. But Wanye was cool with it.
Yeah.
So I started singing, and Nate was like, all right, I hear you, dog. I hear you. I was like, man, so, it was cool. And, they had a whole, so I wasn't trying to make it all elaborate and drawn out, because they had other people they were signing autographs for and doing stuff for. I actually have a sheet music book of the album too, with all the just like the Stevie Wonder book I showed you.
Oh.
And I had them sign it. So I should have showed Wanye that. Like,
yeah.
I'll probably post it, but like I had all of them sign the sheet music. So they knew I was a true fan, because I actually had the music, the actual sheet music. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a pretty cool experience. So it's kind of like a full circle, to run into, to go from there to back here.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because Full Circle is the name of one of their albums. It's called Full Circle.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to tell you that I picked up on this whole thing that you love to sing for people, like celebrities. And I think you props for that, because the thing is, sometimes when you only have like a very small window to meet somebody and you're like, oh, can I get a picture? Oh, can I, I just want to tell you that this song meant so much to me in my life and whatever. You just go for it and you're like, hey, I just want to sing for you. And then you just go into it.
Right.
Props for that, because that's ballsy.
Yeah, I feel like, hey, sometimes the opportunity is there, but you have to create your own opportunities. And if you never take that shot, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to, showcase that, hey, you're a major influence on my music career. So yeah, it was awesome to meet them.
Yeah. And
then to kind of the fast forward to Juan Wednesday, when he started doing this, because I was a big fan and a big part of Juan Wednesday before he even started doing the singing competition. Because he would have a Juan Wednesday every Wednesday, and he would just kind of discuss things that were going on going on in the world,
Mm-hmm.
you know, social justice issues, political views, the music business, the music industry. So I was a part of the Wine Wednesday before he even actually started to, you know, do all that. So kudos to Wanye for that.
Yeah, yeah, I know when he had that on his Instagram, I was like, oh my gosh, he's showcasing so many incredible musicians. And I thought that was so cool because he took this whole pandemic and just kind of like was like, hey, just come and sing for me.
Right. Yeah. 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 So I mean, that was really cool, man, and it gave artists a great spotlight, a great platform to you know not only showcase their talent, but you know get other followers too. You know, get additional followers, get you know platform for themselves to shine.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, like I thank him for you know allowing me to share his platform and to be a part of that.
awesome. Like you said, you've had the opportunity to work with some incredible musicians. In 2014, you sang backgrounds for RL of Next. Bring us back to that time. How were you able to meet him?
So 2014. So I was actually just putting out one of my singles.
Hmm.
Um, and I did a Valentine's Day concert in Iowa. So I actually brought RL to the show.
Oh,
So I
cool.
actually hosted it, and it was a Valentine's Day party. So I actually contacted our RL, his people. We connected that way. You know, we got a chance to talk and discuss things and how the show would run, the process, do the sound check. You know, just chop it up and you know go to lunch and stuff like that, and just kind of
Hmm.
chop things up. Um, During that time, we kind of built a relationship. You know, and you know we built a pretty cool relationship. And yeah, that's kind of how I ended up singing background for him. He was originally going to do tracks, so he had pre-recorded all of his vocals like background tracks already. So he had a bunch of tracks that did. He did "We Can't Be Friends" with Deborah Cox. He had pre-recorded that.
Yeah.
He did you know of course all of Next music. You know, he did a couple cover songs too. He did 112. Uh, Dance for You, I think that was the name of it. No, Peaches and Cream. He did 112 Peaches and Cream cover.
Hmm.
He did Before I Let You Go before by
Black.
Street.
Yeah.
Black Street, yeah. He did a cover of that. So yeah, I mean like, but I ended up having a live band there. So some of my musician friends, you know, we had a live band, a keyboardist, we had a bass player, guitar player. Um, you know, and background singers, and I was one of the background singers. I performed my single, of course. You know, I hosted the party. I performed my single. I performed a couple cover songs, and then we brought RL up to headline it, and then you know I sang background for him, which was cool.
Love that. Very cool. It sounds like such
Yeah.
an incredible show.
Oh, it was. It was a pretty awesome show. It was really nice, real nice.
What artists or genres of music have you been listening to during quarantine?
Oh, you know what? I've listened to Well, actually, you know, I listened to a variety of artists because during quarantine was the Wine Wednesday. So I was trying to, you know, get my get my catalog up to listen to different genres. I listened to you know, El DeBarge. I forgot to lead. I left him out. El DeBarge is a vocal monster too.
Oh, definitely.
You know, when you look at the you know, people with high voices, you know, tenor ones, El DeBarge comes to mind. You know, and El DeBarge, the thing about El DeBarge is he sounds that way natural without his falsetto voice. He's singing chest voice.
Yeah.
And he's singing his full voice. And and he you know, I love El DeBarge. He's a vocal monster. I listen to him. I listen to the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Uh, I listen to a lot of these artists too during quarantine. They had versus battles. You know, the
Oh,
whole
yeah. That's the
versus
coolest
going
thing
on.
about it is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I listen. You know, obviously Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
yeah.
You know, they man, Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. They got hits. They got hits galore. They got hits. I listen to the Roots. I like the Roots.
Yeah.
I listen to, who else I listen to? New Edition. I also listen to, I don't like to keep it just R&B. I listen to a wide variety. I listen to gospel. I listen to Kim Burrell. I listen to J Moss, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are unfamiliar with Tone. Man, if you don't know who Tone is,
I personally don't. So who is Tone?
Tone, he's a vocal monster. That's who he is. He's you spell his name Tonex, Tone,
Okay.
and he's a gospel artist. In my opinion, you know who J Moss is.
I personally don't know.
J Moss is another gospel artist too. He's a vocal monster too. So man, if you want to make a mental note of Tone and J Moss.
Definitely.
They're vocal beasts, like for real. Like some of the runs and things they do are amazing. I listen to the Walls Group too. Have you ever familiar with the Walls Group?
I'm not.
They're gospel as well. The Walls Group,
Mm-hmm.
man. So I have a heavy gospel influence.
Mm-hmm.
On the I listen to country too. I listen to country.
Cool.
Okay,
What country are you into?
I like. You know what? She grew on me. I wasn't a big Taylor Swift fan at all at first.
Yeah.
But just her creativity and her musicianship, I give kudos to any artist that can play an instrument. Mm-hmm. Because number one, that shows that you're a smart artist, because a lot of production eats away at your profitability as an artist.
Yeah.
So like if you can create your own tracks and play instruments, do production, you can alleviate some of your costs, but you don't have to hire a production team. You can do a lot of the things yourself. Totally. Now, granted, you may want to hire certain people because, it takes time. It takes time and effort to create, and be like that. But if you can do it, I would recommend do it. So Taylor Swift's musicianship, being able to play an instrument, being able to produce her own songs, write her own songs, own a lot of her masters, her publishing. She's a smart businesswoman. I'll give that to her. So for me, it's not all about the music. It's about being a smart-minded business person as well when it comes to your music.
Yeah.
Another person that I listen to, I like. What other country artists I like? I actually like a little bit of. I like Leanne Rimes.
Yeah.
I like Leanne Rimes. I like Shania. I like Shania. I like Shania a little bit. You know what? I like. I don't know if you would consider him country. He's more alternative. But I like John Mayer. John Mayer is he's a very gifted artist. Mm-hmm. Who else do I like? I like she's more of a soul singer. I like Joss Stone. Joss Stone's a vocal.
Is amazing.
She's a vocal, but she's underrated to me too. She's underrated. Yeah. And she's another European. She's another person that's European. So yeah, all these artists, man. In the jazz era, I love what's his name? Can't think of his name right now. Bobby. He sings that I guess you wonder where I've been.
Oh, Bobby Caldwell.
Bobby Caldwell, thank you.
Yes. Oh, Bobby Caldwell.
I like Bobby Caldwell.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Bobby Caldwell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, I mean, those I've been listening to a lot of people during quarantine because there's nothing else to do but listen to music. You can't go out really.
I love that question because some of those names you just said to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go back and like listen to some of these like albums. Like you brought it back for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
What song do you wish you wrote and why?
Oh man,
so many.
You stumping me, Ashley. Man.
No,
it's hard for me. It's hard.
You could go anywhere with this.
There's so many people. There's so many songs that are just amazing. I would have to say, one song that I wish I wrote, and I believe Diane Carroll wrote this. She says, man, if you're a music lover, you know writers, you know producers,
Definitely.
you know the people who sing the song are awesome. And I love artists, I love vocalists, I love musicians, but writers, man, oh my God.
Amazing.
Can I give you two?
Yes, two is fine.
All right. So my first one would probably have to be "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion, Titanic.
Yes.
That song was beastie, and it did numbers on the Billboard and in the charts. I don't know how many Grammys Celine Dion got for that, but it's a song that will always be remembered, and it's a song that will always bring you back to the movie Titanic. And no matter where you hear it, it's like, okay, that's Titanic. You know what I'm saying? So My Heart Will Go On. Probably, probably Thriller too. Quincy Jones. Shout out to Quincy Jones, man.
I'm telling
Quincy
you,
Jones.
yes, that album, everything Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones did was breathtaking. Like, just took my breath away. Those songs, that musicianship is amazing.
Yes, and shout out to Berry Gordy too, for Motown, man. It's like those two, man. Those two are musical geniuses, man. It's like there's no, without Quincy Jones, without Berry Gordy, there would be no Puffy.
Yeah.
There would be no Puffy. There would be no Diddy. There would be no Jay-Z. There would be no Dr. Dre. There would be no Def Jam. Right. You know what I mean? There would be no all these major, there would be no Clive Davis. You know what I'm saying? No J Records. You know what I'm saying? Arista Records. All of these, Berry Gordy, that's once again, it's going back to the Motown sound and the Temptations from earlier. The Temptations. So Berry Gordy, I have to give props to Berry Gordy, number one, because he started Motown. Without Berry Gordy, there probably would be no Quincy Jones, because Quincy Jones was a producer on Motown. He produced the Thriller album. So, shout out to Berry Gordy. Shout out to Quincy Jones.
Definitely. So, Troy, what's coming up for you? You have any live streams coming up, EPs, singles? Talk to us. What's going on?
Yeah, definitely. I'm working on a few things. I'm keeping it secret right now because when I do it, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the world. I'm gonna take people by storm. I hollered at. I talked to RL a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to send him a few tracks, and he's gonna be sending me some tracks too.
Awesome.
So maybe a RL collaboration in the near future. I also reached out to actually Melba Moore, who was a big fan of Wine Wednesday. She saw me singing on Wine Wednesday, and she commented on a few of my posts. And I reached out to her. I'm in contact with her management, her manager, and stuff like that. So maybe a Melba Moore collaboration in the near future as well. So I'm currently writing for a few artists right now. Getting my catalog up. I have numerous songs that I've written that's unreleased. So one thing about me too, which is a gift and a curse, and I'm probably sure it's a gift and a curse for a lot of artists, is that I'm a perfectionist. I'm a real perfectionist. So if I hear something, I may record a song, but then I may be like, dude, I don't. Other people might be like, man, that's tight. That's awesome, man. That's dope. Man, that song is hot.
Yeah.
But if I'm not feeling it, I'm like,
yeah.
I have to listen to a song over and over and over again, and I'm like, that ain't it. That's not it. So it takes me some time. It takes me some time to release music that I'm comfortable with, that I like.
Right.
So and that has to do with the creative process. You know what I mean? I write a lot from emotions, and it's hard, and that's why, once again, I love artists, but I give writers a lot of credit. Yeah. Because I write from an area of emotion. So it's hard to write a sad song if you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, you know what I'm saying? So like, how am I gonna write it's hard to write a happy song if you're sad. So it's like, I mean, so it's easy to write for other people
Mm-hmm.
because I can be like, I'll sit down with the artist and I'll interview them. I'm like, okay, you know, tell me something about yourself. You know, any major events going on in your life? You know, where did you go to school? You know, are you married? Are you single? You have any kids? What do you do for work? What's going on with you? How are you feeling? You know, any issues going on? I just kind of interview artists to get a kind of feel for them and kind of how their life is going.
Right.
That gives me a direction on kind of how to write for them. If they're like, man, yeah, I just got a horrible breakup with, you know, my boyfriend, or a breakup, man, or you know, I just experienced a major death. You know, I lost my parents or something like that, or you know, then that kind of gives me a direction. Okay, do you want to write about that? Do you want me to write about that? Do you want me to write it? Or if they're getting married, you know, there's a lot of wedding songs I wrote. You know, I wrote you know, a few wedding songs, and so you know, you know, I give writers a lot of credit, me as a writer as well. That's how I go through my process. So sometimes when I sing some of my own songs,
Mm-hmm.
like She Said, the song that I wrote, it's a sad song. It's kind of like a, you know, a song that, you know, I got caught up, you know, I got caught up in the gang, got caught up, you know what I mean? And, you know, and I came from a place of experience, you know, so, but I'm not that dude anymore. You know what I'm saying? I've grown, you know, I've matured as a person, I've matured as a musician as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard sometimes. And I'm pretty sure a lot of artists, you know, industry artists and national artists, have that same problem. You know what I'm saying? Like they're singing their old songs and that's how they felt at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but they've moved on now. You know, they're past that, or they're happy now. Or they sang a happy song, but now they're sad. Prime example, Shanice, the song, I like, You Make Me Smile, song Smile. Like if she had a horrible day, a crappy day, how you gonna be like, I like your smile? Like you can't smile if you just, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it takes a lot of skill and a lot of technique to be a writer.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, Troy, tell everybody where they can find you. Plug all your social media channels.
Right, you can find me on Facebook, Troy Haughton, Troy Haughton 2, because I have a few different pages. Troy Haughton 2, that's my music page.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram, TS Haughton 23. My Instagram, I'm actually on iTunes. I'm on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on a lot of different major streaming networks and services.
Mm-hmm.
Reverb Nation. So yeah, I mean, you can find me all over, you know.
Awesome. How can people watching right now, Troy, support you as an artist?
Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram right now. You know, I'm gonna be doing more frequent live feeds and live shows. You guys will be the first to know when I drop new music, when I have a concert, when I start touring again, gigging again. You know, with the band. I have a lot of original material. I know a lot of people. Black Planet, MySpace. She going old school. MySpace and Black Planet. Oh my God. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Twitter as well. So yeah, just I mean, reach out, follow me. I do a lot of Brian McKnight. I do, you know, Stevie Wonder, but I do have original music as well. So you know, a lot of people want to hear my original music, and I can perform original stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I just do some cover songs because people are familiar with cover songs. So that's why I do it. But I do have original music,
Mm-hmm.
where you can find it on Spotify and all these other major streaming networks.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have for you this evening, but you're going to perform for us, Troy.
Yeah, I will. Shout out real quick. Shout out to Eric Benet as well.
Yes, Eric.
I was in the studio with Eric Benet. I sang background on a song called "The Good Life," featuring him and Lettucey.
Mm-hmm.
So go check that out. Google it. You know, on YouTube, "The Good Life." Shout out to RL. Shout out to Sheila E. as well. Shout out to Sheila E. and Rebecca Jade, who who's a vocal monster as well. She's Sheila E's background singer.
Yeah, Rebecca Jade was actually on the show. So yes, I know Rebecca Jade very well.
Was she?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Man, Rebecca, man. Shout out to Rebecca, man.
Yes,
If you're listening, man.
Rebecca!
Shout out
I'm
to
not sure
Rebecca.
what episode she was on. I mean, I can tell you the episode afterwards, but I don't know off the top of my head because this is 77. So after like 20, I get lost.
Oh yeah. No, but shout out to Rebecca, man. She's a beast, man. And
Yeah.
I appreciate her. Letting me share the stage with her because she's a vocal monster.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Brandy too.
Yeah.
Brandy, she came to town in Milwaukee here.
Yeah.
And I actually got a chance to do a tribute show for her with
Cool.
the tribute band. I did Broken Hearted.
Mm-hmm.
I did Wanye's part, of course.
Yeah.
And me and her got a chance to talk and chop it up in the VIP upstairs, and we just kind of talking and stuff, and and she was like, that was awesome, and she was like, you need to be somewhere, so shout out to Brandy. I appreciate that as well. And most of all, shout out to Mr. Wanye Morris too, man, for real. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the input. I appreciate the knowledge and insight you gave to me musically. I appreciate the jewels, man. I appreciate the nuggets that he gave me, from a musicianship. He's awesome, man. Humble dude, and just a pleasure to sing for. So shout out to you, Wanye. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So Troy, whenever you're ready, feel free to take it up, do your thing.
Sure. I'm gonna get a sip of water real quick because I've been talking. I got the throat spray today too. Give me a second. My allergies been acting up.
No worries. Do your thing.
What was that? Do you ever think about me? Do you ever cry yourself to sleep in the middle of the night when you awake? Are you calling out for me? Do you ever reminisce? I can't believe I'm acting like this. It's crazy. Now I still can feel your kiss. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. Yeah, I miss you so much and I don't know what to say. I should be over you, I should know better, but it's just not the case. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. Do you ever think about me? Do your friends still tell you what to do? Every time the phone rings, do you wish it was me calling you? Do you feel the same? But it's time, put out the flame. I miss you. Is everything okay? It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. Yeah. I miss you so much and I don't know what to say. Should be over you, I should know better, but it's just not the case. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. I can hear your heartbeat from 1,000 miles. Hear the heavens open every time she smiles. When I come to her, whisper not alone. Then I run into her like a river strong. She give me love. Shattered dreams of broken hearts are mending on the shelf. I saw you holding hands, standing close to someone else. Now I sit all alone, wishing all my feelings was gone. I give my best to you, nothing for me to do, but I've one last cry, one last cry, before I leave it all behind. I've gotta put you out of my mind this time. I guess I'm done tonight. Let's cry. Something that was so meant to be. There was a promise in our hearts. I wonder where you are. Do I ever cross your mind anytime? Do you ever wake up reaching out for me? Do I ever cross your mind anytime? I miss you. Miss you. Miss you. Guess you wonder where I've been. I've searched to find a love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, baby, and I can't let go. Our friends wondering what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from the love you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, Ashley, and I can't let go.
Troy, that was awesome. I didn't know you were going to do a bunch of them.
You know, I just thought, you know, I'd do a couple little snippets. So, you know.
Oh, I love it. You did a little Brian McKnight, a little Bobby Caldwell. For those people listening, can you just run down the first song all the way to the last, what all those songs were? Those little mashups?
Yeah, musical influence, Brian McKnight. That first song I did was 6812, Brian McKnight. The other song I did was Crazy Love, Brian McKnight. That's off the Jason Lyrics soundtrack.
Yeah.
I did One Last Cry. That's one of my favorite songs by Brian. Brian's a beast. I also did Bobby Caldwell, You Know What You Want to Do for Love.
Yes. Anytime, Brian McKnight.
Brian McKnight, Anytime. Yep. Bobby Caldwell, one What You Want to Do for Love.
Definitely.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I will just do a quick snippet of my song.
Do it.
That's okay.
I'm into it. Go for it, Troy.
It's called She Said. I wrote this, like I said, when I was in a down place. So it's a relationship song. So.
Yeah.
Another late night out, hanging with the homies, creeping on the low. I get home around 3, pull up to the spot, push the vibrate button on my phone. I'm getting closer to the crib, the sweat rolls down my face. I'm ready to try and plead my case. I walk in and shut the door, turn around slowly. Then I saw the look on her face. She said, I'm sick of all the lies you tell. She said, I should go find somebody else. She said, someone who's gonna treat me well. That's what she said. That's what she said. She needs someone to step up and make a decision. Be the man she needs in her life. But it's too late for you. Baby, I'm through. That's what she said. That's what she said. No, 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 no. That's what she said, y'all. That's just a little snippet of it, but.
Love it. Thank you, Troy. Thank you. So, guys, if you have any questions for Troy, feel free to put them in the comments section below. Troy, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice?
Yeah.
Oh, I completely left this out. Because I was on Apollo, like, I was on the Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh,
New York
that's
City.
amazing. Very cool.
Yeah, I was on Showtime at the Apollo like 3 times.
Okay.
Came close to winning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The year that I was on, Life Jennings was on the show. I was on with one of my friends. He sings too. Life Jennings actually won that show, which I'm like, okay, if I had to get beat, I get beat by Life Jennings, so that's cool.
Exactly.
But I was on Showtime at the Apollo like a couple seasons before Steve Harvey took over.
Okay.
I was on when Tony Rock, Chris Rock's brother, was the host.
Mm-hmm.
The best advice I've ever been given was feel the song. You have to feel the song.
Definitely.
Like, because sometimes you sing, and that goes back to like writing a song. To like I said earlier, if you're happy, you can't sing about a sad song. If you're sad, you can't sing about a happy song.
Definitely.
But you have to kind of be an actor. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a kind of an actor, and you have to be able to embody what you're singing about. So that means closing your eyes to sing, but you still have to connect with the audience too, because you can't sing the whole song with your eyes closed. But
yeah.
Just feeling the song, taking your time with the song, massaging the song, doing all, take your time with the song. And that's why sometimes I play keys and I, produce a lot of my music, but sometimes I don't like playing, because when I stand up and when I'm actually singing, I can perform and I can interact with the audience. But when you're behind a keyboard, you know what I'm saying, you can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? You can only do so much, you have to like engage them with your vocals, and you have to engage them with other things, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, and actually the person who gave me that advice was Gladys Knight.
Oh,
she was actually their judge, so I actually got a chance to sing for Gladys Knight too. Michael Bivins from New Edition was there, and Dougie Fresh. So those were the 3 judges. So they didn't say anything about like the sound, like, or anything like that, but she was just more so like, make sure you feel the song and just like relate to what you're singing about. Like I said, if I'm in a dark place, like she said, it's actually a bad song. So like, she said, I'm sick of all the lies you tell. She said, I should go find somebody else. She said, someone who's gonna treat me well. That's what she said. That's what she said. She needs someone to step up and make a decision and be the man she needs in her life. But it's too late for you, baby, I'm through. That's what she said. That's what she said. Oh, no, no, no. That's what she said, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fit. It's different between singing. She said I'm sick of all the lies you tell. She said I'm sick. You know what I'm saying? You see how you gotta massage the song. You gotta massage it, like, you know, like when I sing, and sometimes I'm guilty of that myself because I'm squeezing a lot into the song, and I may have a lot of songs that I have to do, so I may just do it. And I may have even done it today, but sometimes you can tell the difference. Like, you know, it's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. Yeah, I miss you so much, and I don't know what to say. I should be over you. I should know better, but it's just not the case. Oh no, it's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you've been away. I'm okay. Make sure that you're okay, baby. No matter how long it takes. You know what I'm saying? You can see the difference when I'm singing. And I probably didn't do that when I actually did it. So, you know what I'm saying? So I noticed the difference when I sing because you actually singing, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to do a quick redo. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you mean because it's like you need to feel those lyrics in every inch of your being because an audience and your fans can tell. It's like, oh yeah, he's just singing. But no, when you feel it and you're in that moment and you're emotional and you're driven to like tears almost singing a song.
Right. And that's why that brings you back to, that's why sometimes I like having like a pianist or like some of my musician friends play behind me.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Because you know, I give a lot of musicians credit to have to play and sing at the same time because it's not as easy as it looks. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because you're thinking about the next chord, you're thinking about chord progressions in your head, but you're also thinking about your vocals too, staying on pitch, staying on key, breathing, you know, interacting with the fans, the audience, you know, remembering the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into playing and singing at the same times. And if you take that away, you know, vocalists who don't play only have to worry about, you know, remembering the lyrics and, you know, being emotional and performing.
Yeah.
But when you playing and singing, if you hit a wrong note, like, you know what I'm saying, you hit a wrong note on the keyboard, and you know it's obvious. So you know, you have to really practice and really hone your craft, which takes me to a good segue that, you know, I actually have music theory as well. I took music theory classes, so I'm not just a musician, you know, I'm not just a vocalist, but I actually know, you know, the circle of fifths, you know, that's a musical term, circle of fifths, how to, you know, key signatures, time key, you know, I know what, you know, key songs are in. I read sheet music, so you know what I'm saying, I can sight read and I can actually read sheet music. So you know, and I think that actually gives musicians an edge when they can actually say, okay, put that song in B flat, or no, you know what I'm saying, take it up a half step, put it in B, you know, or put it in C versus C sharp, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, this song is actually in B flat, but in B natural. But if you take it in B flat, it's down half a key. You take it another half key down, you in A. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to do with musicianship, because you have to know you have to be comfortable with the key that you're in. You have to be comfortable with, and just speaking musical terms. You should be able to communicate with the band. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a vocalist, it's not just about going on stage and singing a song.
Right.
You have to direct the band, direct, your musicians that are playing behind you. Be like, dude, take it up to B, you know what I'm saying? Or take it down to, take it up down to B flat, you know what I'm saying? Take it, put it in G, put it in G flat, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to communicate that. And I think just speaking the language of music and having technical, knowledge of music really helps and gives you an edge in the music industry. Not to say that you don't have to have musical knowledge, but
it helps.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of artists out there that are just vocalists and don't really, have musical knowledge, and that's good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're naturally gifted and they can do that, but it really does help a lot when and you can, the musical terms, what a crescendo is versus a decrescendo, what vibrato,
yeah.
What staccato means. Staccato means like choppy versus legato, which means, kind of keeping it smooth and together, keeping it all together, knowing what a, a tempo change, 4/4 is 4/4 time signature versus a 3/4 time signature.
Right.
Versus a 6/4 time signature,
mm-hmm.
Because there are some songs that go from like a 4/4 time beat to a 3/4 time beat,
mm-hmm.
So all of that is, you have to incorporate as a musician to get more knowledge and to better develop your craft as a musician.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time that we have for this evening. But Troy, do you have any final words for the room?
Man, I appreciate y'all. I see Songbird Ivy in the room. Appreciate you, sis. Keep doing your thing. She's a big supporter of mine. I support her as well. She's a vocal beast too. Real talk. Songbird is a vocal beast. Shout out to J Rod. I want to say shout out to Jay Cotton. Shout out to all the Wine Wednesday family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Wine Wednesday family. Jay Latoy. Who else? Kenny Sway, original Tiffany, X Bria, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to X Bria. Shout out to Real Son of Soul. Real Son of Soul actually is from, my home. Well, he's not from my hometown, but he's been living there, for a grip. He's originally from, I believe, Ripley, Tennessee, Ripley, Tennessee, I believe. Mm-hmm. But he lives in Iowa, and I actually knew Son of Soul even before the Wine Wednesday competition, and then we actually used to sing sometimes, when I would see him in Iowa City. So shout out to Real Son of Soul, man. He doing big things. That brother got vocals, man. He's a vocal monster too. Shout out to Jason Adamu, guitar player, singer, country. He writes his own original music. Mm-hmm. Man, he's a beast too. Shout out to Courtney Jensen. Courtney Jensen. She's a vocal beast too. She sounds a lot like Alyssa. What's it? Morissette. What's her name?
Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette. Yeah, she sounds a lot like Alanis Morissette. Who else? Shout out to Boyz II Men will be in Davenport next week. Yeah. Shout out to who else? Vernon Gooseby. Shout out to Vernon. Shout out to Jay Mello. Jay Mello's one of my homies too. He's a nice dude. Shout out to Prince Tech. Prince Tech is cool. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my sister for being on this live too. Shout out to my parents. Shout out, for raising me and giving me a strong sense of music and direction. My sisters, all of my brothers, Kia, Kiana, Tammy, Raymond, Johnny and Leslie, all my siblings. I got a big family. My parents. Man, shout out to Wanye. Appreciate it. Shout out to you, Ashley.
Oh, thank you, Troy. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. You pretty much schooled me on music theory and all the music. Like when I think of the greats and think of people who are inspiring other musicians, like you said, a lot of people I obviously know, but I'm like, you know what? I gotta go back and like listen to all that music. Like Glenn Lewis, I can't even remember the last time I heard that song or even talked to anybody about Glenn Lewis. So I am going back. I'm like gonna go back to like all the old Brian McKnight and Stevie and oh, this was fun, Troy. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate you sharing your platform for real for artists and
Yeah.
to grow. Like I said, be on the lookout. TS Haughton 23. I'm doing big things. I got a lot in store, a lot of working behind the scene, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be real nice. Some major artists that I'm working with. So some major artists that I'm working with. In the R&B game. So yeah, I appreciate your platform. Keep doing it too. You know what I'm saying? Keep growing. I see you have a nice following.
Yeah.
I wish you nothing but success as well. Keep doing the show. I hope it gets more national recognition. I hope you take off. See you on TV doing a show or something.
Troy, thank
Yeah,
you. I appreciate that. That's so very nice of you to say. And yes, thank you for coming on my show. Like I'm having so much fun with this and learning about artists and sharing my platform with good musicians and just, sharing the love.
yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So, guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Troy. Troy has new music coming, collaborations, lots of good stuff coming. If you don't already, please make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. This is Troy, episode 77. And thank you guys for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye bye.